here in case my internet cuts out, as it likes to do. And we will get started. Try to do a heckin' speed run tonight. I'm still pretty tired from earlier, so we'll see how this goes. This is a maybe reset. Like, if I do kind of crappy in first 10-15 minutes and it feels like a reset, I will very much reset, but any time after that, it's kind of close to bedtime, so probably just try to finish a run. So let's get started. So you might notice that all of my splits are gone, and I'd like to say that's for a specific purpose, like new route, or just wanting to like redo something. I kind of accidentally deleted my splits last night, like just outright deleted all of them. I was trying to set up the timer for the Link to the Past randomizer run earlier today. And in doing so, I saved a new layout for the timer, and didn't think to also set up a new split, or splits, whatever, for that timer. And so I just wiped out all the splits I had. And then later I came back and I was like, wait a minute, weren't those my current Link's Awakening PB splits? Oh crap, I just deleted my splits. That's not good. So we will be making new splits, and that's part of the reason kind of why I want to do an every set as well, is just like, let's just redo the splits, and I'll remember to make a backup this time and not just, you know, completely wreck all of my progress in just one fell swoop, which is loads and loads of fun. I feel so much more in my element doing the speedrun. Like, the randomizer is okay today. Like, I enjoy it because I'm playing with my friend, and I enjoy just being able to spend time with her. It's something I really enjoy doing. And I actually had a couple friends in chat, so that was nice. I love that aspect of it. But just kind of like feeling completely out of my element for like such a long time, for like 5 hours, just kind of like, whew, just kind of took it out of me. Look at the bats being nice, letting me pass without having to kill them. So it's definitely fatiguing, and I don't know, I kind of got frustrated in the randomizer as well, because like, if I can't like figure out where something is at, and it's just like not obvious to me, and I spend like 15-20 minutes like not progressing, it just really starts to frustrate me, because I'm like, what am I missing? What is the thing that's wrong? And usually it's like I forgot something, or I wasn't paying attention, and I was even using a tracker that time. Like, I was specifically trying to you know, keep track of everything I found, and it's just kind of like, well, I had like one instance where I forgot one chest in Paradox Cave, and it's like, well, shoot. How do I deal with that? Alright, old lady, hurry up. Got speed run. You gotta go fast. Faster. Go faster. Oh gosh, you're so slow, lady. Where's my magic powder? Hey, I actually did okay menuing there. How about that? That's new. That's different for a change. feel like I needed the powder head maybe, but I don't know, he was kind of in my way. This is like really fast. Holy heck, even that moblin got out of my way. This should not be so fast. I'm not actually going to waste time on Spinny, because that was like really fast, and I don't want to heck that up. I want a 616. I can taste the 616. Tastes good. Oh man. So I practiced the living heck out of Genie Skip last night. I must have practiced it for about 2 hours. If not more than that. I think I may have actually practiced it about 3 hours. In retrospect. Just trying to hit as many multiples as I could. I never could get past 5, getting it 5 times in a row. It had to be like 5.5, like I got like 5 in a row, and then I got one on like the backup, like the 6th try. I feel like that shouldn't really count, but my goal is in practice for that is to try to get Genie to skip like 10 times in a row. And maybe then I'll be somewhat consistent with it. Because I really want, to have that as consistent as possible. That is a 613. What the heck? I didn't even know that was possible. Okay, see, I really don't want to reset now just because I want to save that opening split. Because I don't feel like I'll ever get a split that good again. That's, like, incredibly good. But yeah, if I can get consistent with the tricks and start tightening up my movement, because I feel like once I get the tricks consistent, like, that's your big chunks of time saver. And, once that's consistent, then we can start tightening up. I mean, I've already been working on tightening up movement. But to really just try and tighten up movement as much as possible. And I think that with, like, consistent tricks is probably a good key to kind of get me more in that, sub 30, 130 range. Because that's kind of like what I'm looking at long term. It's like, I see the gaps, like the holes in my performance, get me to like the sub 132. Probably even sub 130. I can see where there needs to be improvement, like better menuing and stuff like that. It's kind of moving beyond that, where I'm starting to look at like Tej's run and be like, okay, what is he doing that's making him so significantly faster? And it's probably just a bunch of really small, minute things. I have never had that Zola latch on time before. That is so weird. And it's probably like little things, like where he's like little spots where he's walking diagonally. Or I just have it crushed on it. Probably just need to sit down and like try to like mimic his run. Like sit down with like his splits and try to like mimic his run as best as possible. And then try to tie it all together. Something like that. Because I think I could go ahead and tell you, I feel like once I get to sub 132, I don't think I'm going to be satisfied. I really don't. I hesitate to say, like, I want a world record, because that's so far away. It's like a little bit hard hard for me to fully predict where I'm going to be at by the time I get there. And I wouldn't say it's my main goal. I feel like my main goal is to become more of like a marathon runner. But I have to admit, there's a part of my heart, a part of my soul that's like, I kind of want that 121, you know? I want to be that good. Because I love this game, and I've absolutely, like, I can't even tell you how much I've fallen in love with speedrunning this game. Like, I feel like at this point I'm like living and breathing it. It's like what I think about, it's like what I want to do after work during the day. It's just, you know, whenever I'm watching like other speedrun streamers, it's like, I'm like, gosh, I want to listen to them while I go practice. Because I'm like, I constantly want to be doing something to stay engaged and involved with this game. Well, that is 6 seconds faster than my PB, I can tell you that right now. 5 or 6. I can't remember if it was a 48 or 49. The like is kind of up in the air. Pretty much anything past this point, I don't really know what my splits are, so... Here we go, new splits. There I was thinking I couldn't even get past the 617. I'm down to a 6. What the heck? I mean, I think a lot of that's RNG. Like, Mysterious Woods is very RNG heavy, but, alright. So, hopefully like much goes well. That was weird. My A button just, like, wasn't working. So that's what I'm saying, like, I'm wondering about this controller. I mean, I've had this controller since the Switch came out. I got it on the same day. And it's the primary thing I've played with. So I just kind of wonder if this controller might be... I've definitely been pushing it in a lot of new directions lately. There we go, first try. That's about as good as you're going to get that. It's hard to ask for better RNG than that. That was really fast too. Okay, I'm going at like kind of a scary fast pace. I can feel my heart pounding right now. Really calm. I don't want to get so caught up in speedrunner nerves because I feel like in the long run it's going to exhaust me. And I feel like I really want to take a much more relaxed approach to this. At least as relaxed as possible. I mean, at some point you're going to get like invested and be like, oh god, I'm going fast. But I don't want to push things, you know? I just want to breathe. I don't know, maybe that's good I'm getting so excited. I think I'm excited too about this and I've like become so passionate because I've just really this has been an amazing level of therapy for me, for my anxiety, that I think I've ever had before. Like, I have done CBT coping strategies. You know, I've been doing ACT therapy is kind of like my most recent approach, and this is kind of ACT therapy-y. No! Just my time with that Hinox. Wow, okay. Wow, Okay, this is a bad fight. That was a horrible, horrible fight. And see, like, if you get all anxious, and then it's just, like, more disappointing when something like that happens, where it's like, okay, that just hecked up my time really bad. I don't know how much I lost there. You know, I think in my PB I had really bad ghosts there. I can't remember now. So maybe that will, like, make up for it. Something like this is pretty good, though. It's weird not having all the splits. Like, the splits are useful. And I'm sure as I get further and further and better, like, they'll mean more to me. But right now, I just kind of like, I don't know, splits are neat. It's all about, I really think about them, it's like they're neat. Like, I know for some, like, really high-level runners, they're absolutely crucial. Like, I've been watching, 2chan, and her runs of, Sonic lately, and that game, it's, like, really important to have those splits, because, considering which, I didn't actually split there, like a heckin' ding-dong. Who knows what my splits are there. It's funny, I'm sitting here talking about splits and then I just completely forget the split, so... See how well my brain works. I think I lost my train of thought. Like, I was talking before about how, like, this is just going to be great. It's something, like, I've always, like... I feel like I've gone through most of my life with this sense of, like, oh, that's something I'd like to do, or that's something I would want to do one day. And then I never pursue it or do it. And it feels a little weird to say it at the age of 31. That, I have felt more passionate and alive with this than I have, crap, a lot of things, in my life, like my whole life. Like, this has been, I don't know, it's been incredible. I've been enjoying every heckin' moment. Okay. I love it. I'm failing on Villa Skip in, like, the dumbest way possible. I love it. I don't know if I maybe want to take this as a reset point. I think I want to take this as a reset point. I'm feeling it right now. So, I'm going to reset. You beat at some of your best times. You want to update them. Yes.
Sad? So sad.
Okay, so it remembered those. Oops. Alright, so let me try this again. It was such a strong opening, and I feel just, like, really bad kind of, like, hecking that up there. I feel like it's just because I was just kind of got nervous and distracted. So that's something I need to take into account, too. 3, 2, 1, and go. Anyways, as I was saying before, like, this is like the first thing in my life that I've felt, I think, a level of engagement and passion for that I don't think I've had for something I'm actively doing. I'm a toy collector. I collect Transformers. Love Transformers. But it's a thing I consume. It's a very, like, passive passion. Like, the only thing that's really required of me to wax elegant about, you know, the IDW Transformer comics and how awesome and wonderfully gay they are, is just actually reading them and putting that knowledge in my head. And that's really it. And I've always been really good at being a sponge. I can absorb information, I can get passionate about certain fandoms and hobbies. And I've always considered myself like a creative. But I've never... I feel like in a lot of ways I haven't been as passionate of a creative as a lot of people are that I know in the creative field. Like, I feel like I even had a college professor once tell me that. Like, you know, he was like, Mika, you know, you're really good at this, and I mean, you seem to have an interest in it, but you kind of just lack a certain passion for it. And I ignored that advice, I guess, or that notion. I was in college. Which I think is fair because I'm literally there for a degree. So I'm not like too worried about that. But I think as much as I love it, if I were truly as passionate about creative stuff, this is awful.
Sad? So sad.
If I were truly as passionate about creative stuff as I feel like I am, and I mean I am to a certain extent. Like, I do like drawing. I do like the idea of one day starting my own, like, having my own comic. I just haven't had the same little passion like I have for this. Because this is like driving me. This is like getting me from the day to day. On a level that I've never experienced before. And I don't know if it's just obsession or it's just some sort of like unhealthy response to the extreme anxiety I've had for like the past almost half year now. I don't really know. But I know I like it, and I know I want to keep pursuing it, and I know I have felt happier and more passionate than I think I have in like my whole life. And I'm tearing up thinking about it. Like watching Two-Chan with Sonic, which was or Link is 7 when he's doing Wind Waker 100% runs. These people are incredible to me because you can watch them and you can see that passion, like they want it. they want that speed like really, really badly. But that's how I want to be. That's how I feel right now. It's like I want it. I want it so badly. So, like in my downtime lately, I'm just like, oh, I should relax. And then I relax for maybe like 5 minutes, and then I'm just like Well, I think what I would actually rather do than relax is work on Link's Awakening. Because I want to push it. I want to get to a new level with it. And now I'm crying. Didn't expect to cry on a speedrun. It's the stuff I've like talked to my therapist about. Like even my therapist was like, Mika, there's been like a huge change. She was like, I haven't seen you like this before, like ever. Like, I know. All emotional. I've always kind of been like a slow starter at life, so I mean, I guess maybe it took me to like age 31 to be like, oh, I think I actually want to do something in my life. And not just like consume media and drift by and just kind of be like bare bones comfortable. It's something I can actually strive for. Ah! Why did I put it on Y? I hit the wrong button. Okay, I just gotta keep reminding myself, it's on Y, it's on Y, it's on Y, it's on Y, it's on Y. Why oh why did I put the powder on Y? That's gonna heck me up. Well, I don't think I'm getting a Mysterious Woods as good as the last runs, but and I'll take it as, I mean, it feels less than 620, so not the end of the world. Heck, a Terran though.
Yeah.
Got that Terran spin. I freaking love Terran spin. If I could contribute anything to this speedrun, anything, it's Terran spin. I'm just going to like, as soon as like I get kind of catch the ear of some of the other runners for this game and like get them to embrace the Terran spin. Like, the Terran spin is so vitally important to the health of this run in the long term. Like, I cannot stress enough how important Terran spin is. I will meme this into the ground. I do not care. I heckin' love Terran spin. I will make an FFZ emote. Frickin' Terran spin. And I'll be like Terran spins in chat. Oh, this is so slow compared to the 613. I'm gonna have a hard time getting over that because I'm like, the whole 613 is like, I just had really good RNG. Like, near perfect RNG. Because, yeah, like a 618 is fine. Why did I powder that? I was going for my sword button, but I powdered instead. So, okay. I think I'm sourcing mistakes. I'm kind of out of sorts right now. I feel like I kind of got like emotional there, and now I'm like trying to catch back up to the logical side of things. Ow. Also, I just want to take like a ton of damage, I feel like. I feel like that's where... See, I went for the Y. And I went for the heart as well. This feels slow. I really shouldn't reset again, though. Really should not. It's gonna be like near midnight before I'm done with this. I should probably be after midnight, so this kind of really needs to be a no reset now. I just can walk away and say I got like a really awesome 613. Which will stand the test of time. Oh god, okay. This is why you never press like the wrong, like the item on the wrong button than you normally do. Because it just messes with your brain. It's like, oh god, nothing is right. Everything is wrong with the world. What was I thinking? What was I smoking? See, little movements like that are just kind of like determining, like diagonals are faster. Where can I integrate a diagonal in my movement to make it faster? So like walking back to the right here, where can I integrate a diagonal to hit those steps and gain time with that? I think it's going to be like little strategies like that that probably separate me from like Teach. You know? It's going to be little tiny details. This already feels like really slow. If I die here, I'll reset, and that'll have to be my last reset. And whatever happens, happens after that. Please stay up above.
Sad? So sad.
Last reset. I was just really not happy with that. Alright, that's gotta be my last reset though. I really don't have time for more resets. Alright, never reset run. Just try to do the best I can. If I die to Mordorm, I die to Mordorm. I want to run. Because I feel like I'm still really brand new enough. I just need to try to get in as many full runs as I can. I really don't want to get too trapped into being like reset heavy this early on. I feel like that's more of a I think that's more like a high-end player where I want to get completely reset happy. I feel like at this stage, if I do resets, it's been about like what I've been doing. Like I feel like I should reset up to probably Milliskip. That's about where my skill level's at. Anything kind of past that, I feel like is, unless I'm losing like 3, 4, 5 minutes, it's not really worth it to reset. It's probably just better to have the non-PO. I don't feel like it's a waste of time yet. Eventually it will be. But not yet. Twilight makes a fair point whether I should like slash that bush or walk around it, and I genuinely don't know which might be faster. I feel like I should time that somehow. I feel like I need to do some timings in this game, because I don't know if there's actually been a lot of people sitting down timing things in this game. I really don't know. There may have be. There may be some people that have done some like really tight timings. I really don't know how to avoid that spear. I don't know if it's possible or if it's worth it to try to avoid that spear. Because I'd say more often than not, it happens. Gosh, is that 613 even beatable? Like, for reals. Okay, I feel like he's gonna hit me. Almost. Not quite, though. That's 613, though. Holy heck. I feel like I want to keep this video, like even if I don't PB or something, or I want to keep that earlier video, I should say. And, just as like a, hey, look at the 613 I got. No! Yeah, it's when you have to do dodging like that, I think is when you have like your biggest time. Okay, that zaps you, even if you don't hit it with a sword. I didn't realize that. I think that's the first time that Buzz Blob has actually hit me. I don't think it's ever hit me. I ain't sure if it hit me casually. Honestly, I don't know. I'm also halfway tempted to put a split here like Twilight does. I'm tempted to. I don't want to get too... I don't like splitting up my splits too much. But that might be one where it might be worth it. Yeah, this isn't going to be great. This is going to be in that 618 range again. Which is sad, but... Oh, come on, not even a Terran spin. Trash run, right away. Waste of time. I'm gonna slash his bushes to the left.
Yeah.
He's in a bad spot. Man, I feel like I just really don't want to be in grass if I can help it. Would have hit him or not there. I felt like I was going to, though. Let me put it this way. I feel like I've found ways to not make the first 6 minutes of this run boring. There are definitely places for optimization. It's subtle and you have to look for them, but they're there. And a lot of it is RNG. Which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's kind of neat, too. The speed. I think this would be like a 618 again. Maybe a 619. See how good of a judge I am. 616, really? Really? Alright. It's hard to argue with that. At least I know, like, I'll never, like, worry about, like, that first split always being in red, because I could just be like, yeah, I know it's in the red, but I literally had perfect RNG for that split. I really don't know how the RNG could have been better. Like, it really would take just, like, better movement and perfect RNG again, I think, to beat that. And hopefully I'm wrong. Like, hopefully there is, like, a lot more optimization and, like, 612 is, like, totally doable without perfect RNG. But I'm having a hard time picturing it right now. But that may change. That may change. Box feather get. Mika fingers, thank you. So we'll see how bad Moldworm hecks me. Or at least Rolling Bones does, if anything. I feel like Rolling Bones has been more of the hecker. Try to get me again. I feel like I need to start paying attention to that Zol. I feel like maybe I've just been getting lucky that I've been like north enough that it doesn't hit me. Itchy legs. One thing that doesn't work with speedrunning too well is when you have to scratch yourself. It's like, ah. Oh gosh, now I'm thinking about itching and my body's getting all itchy. It wants to scratch everything. It's like, no, you can't do that right now. Bad idea. Bad idea. That was an interesting fight. Alright, I'm getting the fairy. I'm not going to die to Moldorm. I refuse. Buzz rise. I wish I had poured more soda before I started. Oh, come on. Wow, that was a bad fight. That was a really bad fight. Ow, my pride. Oh, that sucked. That really sucked. Oh, geez, that sucked. That sucked so bad. How many seconds did I lose on that? Wow, that's bad. That's like really, really bad. Alright, we're not resetting though. We will live with a 13-second time loss, which is really more like a 10-second time loss. We will live with it. We will live with it and move on. That was a bad Moldorm fight. Oof. Oof. I just couldn't hit him. I feel like I need to reinvestigate my approach to Moldorm. I feel like it might not be the best. I feel like something's going on in the village. Is it like some sort of crisis or something is happening? I don't know what it's about though. I don't particularly care. It's not related to me going fast, so whatever. That's not good. That's still not good. Okay. Third tries the charm. I don't think I'm getting that 12-22 like I did before. Last run started so well. For my first run. Oh well, just making room for better splits later on. Ouch. That is time loss. Alright. I can make it up though. Ooh. Well, that wasn't too bad. If I could have a decent Hinox, I could maybe make up some of that time. I don't know what my time was after Hinox before. But I might be able to make it up some. Whoa! I was trying to jump off to the left, like the bottom left, and I went down, just straight down to the bottom. What I can do about that? Still do damage boost though. Ow! That just like was bam straight for me. No! Oh man, one hit off. One hit off. Ow! Great, that is like our Z-axis didn't quite allow you for me to kill it. It just smacked me in the face, why don't ya? At least my ghost went well there. Alright, well, so far everything's kind of going crap. At least I remember to split this time. 1533. I feel like in my PB it's like a 1524. Like, I don't know for certain, but something in my head tells me that's what it was. I tried to like redo my splits based off of my recording, but they weren't like lining up correctly. Like I put in the number that my split was, and I'm like, it's just where I don't know how to use live split. So I actually probably could fix my PB splits, but heck if I know how to do it. Live split is kind of an awkward program. I don't know how it works, and I really don't want to invest time knowing how it works. Which I probably should invest time knowing how it works, but whatever. Too impatient for that. I'm a speedrunner, dang it. Yeah, swing your sword. That's going to help you not die. Evil shopkeep you. All I was doing was trying to steal and you just like laser me to death. Do you think the punishment's a little strong for the crime? That's assuming I even committed a crime. I think you're actually price gouging, old man. I think you're actually just trying to heck everyone up. Old shopkeeper, the real villain of this game. I swear I'm not just a thief. I feel like that's slow. No? Alright. Okay, let me not, like, heck this up this time. There we go. I feel like I try so hard to do that, like, just keep moving, and it probably just would benefit me for, at least for right now, just, taking the time to notice my positioning, instead of just, like, losing lives. And the grass mysteriously grows back for no known reason. Always weirds me out how it grows back after that cutscene. It's like, what? How? It's only supposed to happen if I go into like another room. What can I say? Loading zones are weird in this game. It's really, really weird. No idea if that time is good or not. Doesn't really matter. Go, no, reset. Oh, jeez, really? That's how this room's gonna go? That was a bad room. Hard to argue with that though, because it's a I think I just totally lost my train of thought there. I was saying something, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was, so it probably wasn't important. Something about, oh, that room is just kind of super RNG heavy, so it's hard to be angry if, ow! I don't want to get hit that many times. Okay, that was scary. Please get off, please get off. Almost got that piece of power. Would have stopped. I do not like finding the dongo stakes with one heart. The fairy will be very appreciative about now. I guess just don't get hit. Pretty good, the dongo snakes. It's hard to argue with that one. It's kind of funny that little dashing area there to teach you what the boots do is like kind of really a crappy area to use them. I mean, I guess unless he's trying to teach you that you can balk as well. Maybe that's the goal of it. It's like, oh yeah, you can also balk on things. Because if you've never used the boots before, that's the first time you've ever seen them, you like will probably balk there. And maybe like what their goal was. I don't think I've ever seen. Are they even Mortis Fairy now? I feel like that was just a waste of time because that room was like so fast. I feel like I kind of regret I did that now. Like, the menu wing's fine, because you got a menu at some point anyway. Crap. Whoa! Hello, Relaxer13. Rating with a party of 3. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. What is all this? There's all these emotes. Relaxer dab. Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight? Wasn't expecting a raid tonight. Oh gosh, I love these emotes. Jerry, I don't know who Jerry is. That face is cool. Great, and you? I'm doing all right. Just trying to get in like a no reset run before bedtime tonight. I don't know how well I'll do, but give it a shot. Hopefully with like less pressure, I actually do well. Oh, so what kind of stream did y'all come from? So I'm not familiar. Alright. Come on, good Gigazole. Good Gigazole. Are y'all familiar with the speedrun? Alright, good first part of the fight. It's not so good. Hey, pretty good. Legend of Zelda. OG Zelda? That's a heck of a speedrun, or a game right there. Well, game or speedrun. I suck at Legend of Zelda. I haven't played that game in a long time. Always handing my butt to me. Du hast nix in Glocken. So yeah, so I'm about ready to get to a particularly scary part of this run. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with the speed run, but get to a part called AK skip, or angler key skip. And it is a very difficult trick, which I may just completely fail. Fair warning. Try my best not to fail such trick. But once I get old Porky out of the way there, we'll start it up. I don't know why I used my map that way, that was slow. I'll just chalk that up to the speedrun jitters and we'll go with that. First, I gotta make a stop though and get a little ocarina. Do a little Inception dreaming here. So the scary part about this little area of the game is you see over there on the right side there's some items that the enemies drop called a piece of power and a guardian acorn, and you don't want to pick those up because they waste a bunch of time if you pick them up. But the game wants you to pick them up, so sometimes you have to avoid them. But we were good. So one more stop here. We gotta learn some music. A little Marin here, which is actually a pretty nice song. Good time to stretch the arms and legs. Get all the kinks out before the horrible trick known as AK skip that I am absolutely insane for learning or attempting or performing in any form or fashion, which I think is why the glitchless categories for this game are so popular. But tough part of speedrun there. You got to make sure you don't hit no on that message, or you have to listen to the song again, which is not so good. So this little fox here that I am horribly abusing, and will abuse for a while. I have named him Tails, and yes, I have actually named a couple of creatures in this game, Sonic and Amy as well, and that did not work the way it was supposed to. No, come back. This is Tails, and he's gonna help me skip getting a key for the next dungeon. Hopefully. If I can get the timing correct and the positioning correct, hopefully everything will go off without a hitch and we'll get into D4 early. Which skips something like, I think a good, like, 5 or 6 minutes of the game, at least. Maybe actually a bit more than that. It's a pretty hefty, important skip for this game. But it's also one of the more unpleasant tricks because it's, if you fail it, you lose about 2 minutes. Which if you fail it more than, like, twice, you're basically not saving any time. And as you can see, the setup for it is it's pretty long and involved. So I think it tends to scare some people, but I don't know. At this time, I've probably done it over 100 times, and I've gotten used to the monotony of it. So you have to line yourself up just right. And that was a little bit slow, but I didn't die. So I can attempt it again up here. Once I get Tails' attention. If you don't interact with Tails for a while, he'll start running, try to run back to the village. Well, and that's what happens when you fail this trick. Which is part of what makes it a particularly difficult trick. So with that, I can confirm I am not PBing tonight. But this is a no reset run, so no worries. This is me just wanting to get a run in before bed, so we'll get it this time. Alright, see that went better this time. You can actually do this like pretty fast if you practice it enough. I think when I first started learning this trick, it took me like about 5 minutes, if not more, to get the fox up to where I needed him. And at this point, it takes me probably about 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half, depending on how cooperative Tails is and how good I am at lining up the trick correctly. I grabbed onto the ladder there, which I don't think I've actually ever done before. And oftentimes the moblins are a worse threat than anything else. They like to just stand in your way like that, and then Tails runs away. And it's great, everyone has a good time. Especially Tails. Tails loves getting hit in the face. It looks like I'm abusing Tails, but really I'm just like petting him with a sword. Don't worry about it, don't think too much about it. Alright, I feel like my timing is kind of off tonight. That should do it. There we go. So that skips us having to go get the angler key. So normally I would reset if I missed that. At my current level of playing, that's kind of game over for me if I miss that trick. So I put a lot of practice into that trick so I don't mess it up. But as you can see, even with like hours and hours of practice, it's still very much something that causes you trouble. But hopefully in a few more weeks I'll have it a lot more down pat and I won't have to worry so much about it potentially failing on me. So up here, there's a new trick I've learned recently. It's been found. This is called double key skip. If I can get it. And this skips 2 keys in the dungeon that you normally would have to collect, and it saves about... I think officially it saves about 2 minutes, but it probably has saved me about 3 minutes, considering where my time was at before. So it's a bit tricky to get. And I am not doing a very good job of it. Obviously I need to practice more. I've only been doing this trick about 2 weeks. There we go. Once you get it though, it's like really cool. So I'm going to attempt a quick kill on this boss. I haven't been able to get it yet. I've been trying to learn it recently. I can typically get a pretty fast kill on this boss, but It's not so easy, and I'm definitely not getting it this time. This is kind of not what you want to do with this boss, but we'll live with it. We'll live with it. Alright, so up here, we're going to grab the flippers so we can swim. And then we're going to leave. Because we are done with this dungeon for now. And we will come back and finish that boss near the end of the game. Because it is faster. And shoutouts to one of the best songs in the game. And I forgot to split, like a ding dong. That's alright. Such a fun song. So the other day, I accidentally just deleted all of my splits from my personal best. So I'm kind of in a spot now where I'm having to build my splits back up. So I don't really know how far behind or ahead I am on things, other than I know I lost time with English key skip. So Mama gives you a teleport song. Just lets you get around the island quickly if you've been there before. And we will be using that throughout the run. Which I'm actually going to check my map real quick on something. I can't see it. I have a bit of a nasty feeling I didn't get the warp I should have gotten, which is a bit embarrassing to admit, so I'm just going to check that real quick. Because if I didn't get it, I need to go get it now. Okay, I got it. No worries. I didn't have to worry about anything. So this is Fish Mall, or Catfish's Mall if you're not German. And this is probably my favorite dungeon. Sans this opening room here. This opening room is terrible, because it's really hard to do very fast. But the rest of the dungeon is a lot of really good movement. You're also fighting a reoccurring mid-boss. Named Master Stalfos. And he's kind of an idiot, so you just kind of troll him for a while. Until you get to the final battle with him. I also forgot my split again. Once we get to the final battle with him, he drops the hook shot. And we're going to take advantage of... I can kill that skeleton. We're going to take advantage of that hook shot drop in a unique way, where we're going to use it to skip most of the dungeon. Specifically the boss of the dungeon. The boss is really slow, and we don't want to fight them. Ever. It's very, like, RNG heavy boss, and, yeah, the less you have to fight, the better. And I kind of hurt myself there a little bit more than I want to be. So I'm actually going to grab a heart and a couple bombs there. And I'll actually skip some bombs and D6 to make up for that particular time loss. But I picked up some extra bombs there because I will need them later. Bombs and arrows are very very important in this run. Or you have like a very limited number of them, very limited chance of picking up more. So you will see me trying my very best to not waste any bombs, if I can help it. Bombs or arrows. I usually end up taking a fair amount of damage in this room and this room. But I'm pretty low on health, so I'm actually probably gonna grab that. Yeah, I'm gonna grab that heart there. And because it's really easy to take some pretty bad damage here, and that just ends up wasting time if you die. So we're getting up here to ill skip, and I am going to make a safety save here, because if you miss this trick and you don't have a backup save, it pretty much just kills your run, because there's not a way to perform the trick again without fighting the mid-boss again. So we want to save before the mid-boss, in case things go wrong. But hopefully they won't, and I get the trick first try. I typically get this trick okay. I have had some trouble with it lately, but I think it's just where I kind of got sloppy on my performance, and I've been practicing on tightening that back up. So our main goal is to get Master Stalfos down here in the corner, and then we will do shenanigans. And that was our shenanigans. So, the idea is you position a bomb underneath the hook shot. So everything in this game, every like object in this game has some sort of like physical hitbox to it, or physical blockiness to it. So you can stack things on top of themselves, and some things don't like being stacked on top of some things. So if you stack a bomb underneath the hook shot as Master Stalfos dies, the game can kind of sort of handle that. Okay, but as you see, it kind of like bounced the hook shot there a bit, and then we kind of break the game's mind a bit more by getting Link's hitbox on a very particular spot underneath the hook shot inside of the bomb, and then we pick up the bomb and point our direction or control stick in a particular direction, and the game freaks out and is like, what the heck are you doing? It shoots you up onto the wall, and then once up you're on top of the wall, you're really close to the boss room, and you get up on the wall and you skip the boss. So now we're going to the Southern Shrine, which is an area of the game that exists. It's not particularly loved. It's kind of a slow area. You have to kind of just take your time and go through this field of Armos statues. Oops. And I don't like coming into this area with less than 2 hearts. Because coming in here with less than 2 hearts, these Armo statues do 2 hearts of damage. So if they so much as look at you the wrong way, you're dead. And that can lose about 15-20 seconds easily. You tend to respawn at where you die in here, but it is a big time waste. So I took damage there, so I gotta be really careful with this one here. And to top that off, besides kind of the awkward movement, because it's really hard to use boots in there, we gotta fight this guy. And this guy sucks. A lot. Actually, I want to kind of be quiet here. Alright. So that's not the fastest you can do that boss, but it's pretty fast. The company that made this remake was not directly Nintendo, it was Grezzo. Which is the same company that made the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3DS titles. They're really good at making really pretty games, and actually some pretty fun, like, movement and stuff. Like, they did a great job, but for the life of them, they do not know how to make good hitboxes. And the hitboxes in this game, even on a casual level, can be really, really wonky. And that Armor's Fight boss, the hitbox is absolutely abysmal. It will hit you when you think you are like a mile away from it. Somehow it will still hit you. And you'll be like, what? How did that happen? So we went all the way to Southern Shrine to get the key for this place, which is the Face Shrine, which is probably one of the hardest parts of the run. You know, outside of some particular tricks you do, this is the one area that is just genuinely difficult, and there is a high failure rate. You're dealing with a lot of really tight movement. You really want your movement to be top-notch. Even that Zol there is kind of bad movement. And to top it off, you got one of the harder tricks in the game in here. If you're doing a glitched run. You have one of the harder bosses in the game in here. And a mid-boss that is generally pretty easy, but if you mess up can cause you to lose a bunch of time. So there's a lot of tricky elements in here, and as far as high reset points in the game, this is probably one of the dungeons, or at least I personally have reset a lot. Just because it's going really badly. But at the same time, it's also, I would say, one of the more rewarding games. Now, normally I grab a couple of bombs out of the box there, but I picked up 2 bombs in D5, so I'm not going to worry about it in here. Now, it wastes time to kill that guy, but he annoys me, and so I killed him, which you will see why he annoys me here shortly. So there's a trick shot here that I'm going to try to get if it allows me. It did not allow me, so I'm not going to worry with it. Sometimes when you come up here, that anti-fairy will be in a particular position where you can get a really good shot off and kill both of those wizards in one hit. But it's kind of RNG, and you don't always get it, and even if you do get that to show up, it doesn't always work super well, so if you can get it, but if not, don't worry about it. So this is a trick called wall surfing. As you can see, the first part of it is probably the hardest part. So we're going to get on top of this here. And we're going to very carefully use our control stick in a very weird, awkward way. That did not work. And that's like a potential, like, I haven't started resetting there yet, but in the nearest future that'll probably be a bit of a reset spot. I'm actually going to grab, since they're there, I'm just going to grab those bombs. Technically that's slow, or normally I wouldn't do that, but this run is already pretty sketch, so whatever. I'll just make this super safe and not worry about cannonball later. But yeah, this is called wall surfing, and as you can see, it's you're having to move the control stick in very, very odd, specific ways. Just to go down, you're holding the control stick left, but if you hold the control stick too far left, you end up falling off the wall, and it's a very tricky balancing act, and it's definitely an area where a lot of people get frustrated. What I find personally more frustrating is this fight. So these are Dodongo snakes, and they just suck. They waste your bombs, they waste your time. If you mess up feeding them, stuff like that will happen. And you're like, why did this happen? And sometimes they'll just like reject your food and just heck you up like that. I'm actually surprised he ate that one. But we got through it. So, I'd like to say we're through the scary part of the dungeon. Like, I feel like the wall surfing is the scariest part of the dungeon. But the upcoming mid-boss and boss are also pretty scary. And I got a piece of power. So, pieces of power in this game are not as bad as the original DX game. They actually... Man, I got a Guardian Acorn, what the heck? Those are not good. Guardian Acorns just slow you down, completely. That was really bad. So ideally you want to hit these in groups of two, the two top and like the two right. I kind of picked that up and just got a bunch of them. Anyways, so yeah, pieces of power will actually speed up your walking speed, so they're not always bad, they actually kind of even out. But I think ultimately they lose you about, I think it's like 20 or 30 frames, so basically like half a second. However, it actually is a strategy to pick up a piece of power before this ball, so you can grab the ball before the mid-boss does. So the piece of power actually wasn't too bad in that situation. The Guardian Acorn, though, is completely useless. Serves no purpose. And you just generally want to avoid it. It's just a bad time. So, I'm right at the tail end here. I'll be fighting the boss here soon. And this boss is, like, pretty tricky because it requires some very fine use of the, ideally you wouldn't fall in the pit there when there. It's a very refined use of bomb guns. And not blowing yourself up in the process. I'm probably going to be kind of quiet during this fight, because it's a bit of a concentration battle. But yeah, this is Facade. Hey, Solich, dear Iron Tip Gibbon. So he's trying to tell you, oh, what's my weakness? It's might. and then he's like, oh, I'm not telling you. Frats. Which I think it's pretty obvious, like, what his weakness is. So, I kind of start here in the bottom left corner, and kind of go from here. And then after the first 3 shots, it kind of gets a bit random where he shows up, and if he's near a block or not. Okay, see, I blew myself up there, so I gotta be really careful now, but I know he's going to sit. And I died. So, that is not ideal. And if this were a reset run, that would be a reset. So I'm actually going to be a bit slow here because I died and I'm not resetting, and I'm going to go back to this room and grab these arrows. I took a lot of damage because again, arrow counts are really important in this game, and being able to have plenty of arrows is just very important, and bombs. But that should be more than enough to last me the rest of the run. Well, I'll be picking up some more in Turtle Rock, but that's a bit away. Well, I say that's a bit away, it's actually the next dungeon, so... So we will do this again, and we will succeed this time. A little bit better off health-wise, so... But you can kind of see how it's a tricky fight. If you blow yourself up, it's not good. And that was just weird. Well, this fight is totally unpredictable at this point. So, yeah, it normally doesn't go this bad. But the day it is. If he spawns up next to a wall, you can use a bomb arrow, but if he spawns, like, right there, you die and, you have to start over again, so... Alright, so I don't need to pick up the extra bombs and arrows this time. I still have enough. So we'll try this again. I actually haven't failed this boss this badly in a long time. I feel kind of embarrassed, like oh, I swear I have my PB is 132.54, which is it's not too bad, and I have definitely killed this boss on the first try many times. And, apparently not tonight though. So that took away a lot of hearts. I'm going to try to grab a fairy in here. What am I doing? Hopefully that helps with this fight. That's going to concentrate. I'm just going to go quiet, because it is a tough fight. Especially if you don't have the right things equipped. Well, that still was a really rough fight, and not how you want to go. But we got through it. We got through it, and we will just forget about how bad that was and move on. So actually, before I get out of here, I'm gonna swap my items so I don't accidentally waste any bombs or anything, because I don't trust my fingers. And we will Vominos out of here. my next trick, I will be going up here to Signpost Maze, where we're going to go get the best song in the game. And hopefully Forky there won't mess me up. And all we're really doing here is just trying to read these signs in the correct order as fast as possible. Which the hook shot helps us with. Yeah, that Zol really wanted to smack me in the face. I've never actually had that one go to such lengths before. I suppose stranger things have happened. I'm just gonna grab that heart there. So I've taken a bunch of damage already from this. So yeah, if you misread a sign or read it twice by mistake, everything resets. So kind of have to be careful here. Don't misread things, which I have done before. And sometimes the Zols are really nice and like they don't bother you too badly. Tonight they're here to be trying to heck. That's okay. We'll just heck with that. Alright. So sit back, relax, and listen to the best song in the game. I'll pour me some more Coke Zero. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. Listen to that beat. That singing. Top tier, grade A. 10 out of 10. Best song of 2020. So that's Frog Song of Soul, which is such a good song. It literally has the power to raise the dead. And we are going to use that power and raise something from the dead. So Link is a necromancer now. Necromusician? We are now playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. Which I hear is a good game, but I've never played it, so I don't know for certain. And we'll spare Tails. Sometimes you end up hitting Tails there if you do a sword slash instead of a jump. And, you know, for old time's sake, he's alright. He made it safely back to Mabe Village and didn't die from the explosion that killed us. You know. Everything worked out. So this here is our rooster friend, which I haven't named yet. I need a name for our rooster friend. But he's going to help us skip a particular cave called the Flame Cave. And the Flame Cave is a cave that normally you cannot get past until you have gotten the Mirror Shield out of D7 Eagle Tower. And it's meant to be a progression block until you've beaten Eagle Tower. So it keeps you from D7. You can't get the D8 till you complete D7. But it's kind of slow to go do things in that order, so we're not going to do that. That wasn't going to work. So this is a bit of a hard trick. Definitely starting out was a big roadblock for me. As you can see, it's still not the easiest. But basically, again, Grezzo doesn't know how to build hitboxes. And there's basically an invisible pillar on the corner of the map here. that we're trying to jump on top of. And as you also notice, ladders are weird in this game when you have the rooster, and sometimes you can just climb up in the air. And it's okay. You know, sometimes ladders, there's more to ladders than just what you see. Sometimes there's more ladder above the ladder. And also just trying that in real life, but in this game, ladders are weird. So the trick is called air climb, and basically you're glitching the game to allow you to quite literally keep climbing into the air. I don't really know the specifics of how that works. But it lets you be able to jump up onto that visible wall there that Grezzo so kindly left us. Yeah, Grezzo makes really pretty graphics. Can't make a good hitbox to save their lives. I really didn't need to grab that fairy, but also I've just been like missing like all of my splits. Apparently I don't care about splits. I mean, to be fair, this run's pretty crappy and I probably don't need splits, but wow, that's a Guardian Acorn. Apparently I've been doing a really good job of not taking damage. So that's another weird fact about Guardian Acorns, is you get them if you don't take damage. Which doesn't really make any sense, because the point of Guardian Acorns is to increase your defense, so if you don't take damage, you are more likely to get a Guardian Acorn. Yeah, makes no sense at all. So here we have a key. So this is D8. So this is the first area of the game that is what divides the any percent run from the any percent No Hinox Warp. So there's a mid-boss in this dungeon that we will see and I will fight. Called Hinox, who we actually fought back in D2 as well. And Hinox is a little bit weird, because he has this move where he can pick you up off the ground and toss you. And if you do certain actions in a certain way, stop blocking on the walls here, to kind of confuse the game, Hinox will end up tossing you to the end of the dungeon. Like right up where the instrument is that you need to collect to complete the dungeon. And in D8 here, you basically skip everything. You don't get the fire rod. At least I don't think you do. Yeah, you don't get the fire rod. You just kind of do your best to get to Hinox as fast as possible, and that's kind of it. Like, you get a key, and that's it. It's been a while since I've tried any percent run. Right, before I finish that, let me take care of Blano here. He's a little bit hard to... So you can get a quick kill on Blano there, which I just missed barely. Got a pretty fast kill with. But basically you just wait for him to punch a wall and you just kind of get him from behind. Pretty easy fight. But anyway, so yeah, you trick Hinox into basically just making you skip 90% of the dungeon. You spend almost no time here in an 8% run. In this particular run, we don't use the Hinox Warp. And the reasoning behind that, kind of the reason why the category exists, is because Hinox Warp is extremely difficult. It is by far the hardest trick in the game. I would kind of compare it to, if you're familiar with Super Mario Odyssey, and its glitched runs, I would compare it to Dino Skip Skip, which is a very, very tricky run, or a very tricky trick in that run. Requires very good timing and frame-perfect inputs, almost. And that's kind of what Hinox Warp is. Now, the D8 Hinox Warp is actually not too difficult. I think anyone can learn it pretty easily. In fact, I learned it. I actually got fairly consistent with it. But after this dungeon, or after this dungeon, is D7, Eagle Tower. And the Hinox Warp in there is even more precise, with an even more insane setup to get it to actually work. And by that point in the game, you have been playing for probably an hour or more. And there is a very high chance that you will fail that warp. Let me finish this boss here. Well, that didn't work. Wow, I'm just making all the mistakes tonight. I feel like I'm playing from like 2 weeks ago, or actually even older. Like, this is a pretty miserable run. I apologize for the miserable run. But I just had my PB yesterday, so, you know, I feel like you need to have a miserable run after a really good run. Kind of balances things out. Kind of shakes off the jitters. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So D7 Hinox Warp, though, is on another level, and to even practice it consistently requires about 3 or 4 minutes of setup between tries. And you're trying to get this frame-perfect trick that's really hard to practice. It is near the end of the speed run. If you fail it, your speed run is pretty much over if you're a high-end runner. So there's just like a lot of frustration with it. And it was felt like in the community that there was enough frustration with the trick that it was worth it to try and make a new category, an 80% category, where that run was banned. Or that trick was banned. And I got really frustrated with D7. Like, I was learning the speed run, and D7's Hinox Warp was found, and I quit 90% because it frustrated me that badly. And I love this game. I absolutely love this game and this run. So for me to like be like quitting from that run, it's a pretty bad trick. So they created a new category to try and remedy that. I hope I don't die here. I have to be very careful. I can die now. I'm really using it. And so, yeah, No Hinox Warp, and that's the category I'm running. My current goal is to get really, really good at the No Hinox Warp category. I'm considering going for world record. I don't want to quite announce that yet, but, you know. It's in the cards, I'll put it that way. I'm shooting for 3rd place right now. I'm in 4th place right now. I'm not on the leaderboard yet because I haven't submitted yet. I don't want to submit until I'm at 3rd place at least. So I'm shooting for that. If I get really, really, really good at No Hinox Warp, I may take the time to learn D7 Hinox Warp and actually, learn the darn thing and maybe start trying to do any percent. But as it stands right now, any percent is a very, very daunting category for me, and I'm kind of like, I will leave this the Samurai Man, and he can decimate it for me for right now until he gets bored with it or something. I don't know. I think he's still doing runs in this game. I hope he is again. This is a really good runner. So as you can see, we have used a trick similar to air climb there, where you can basically fly through the rocks, and I didn't split again because I'm a terrible person and I don't know how to split. And yeah, you can just kind of glitch through rocks, and we'll be doing a couple more air climbs here very shortly. Now, I think it's technically faster if you use bootstraps to jump through that section of rocks there, but in an any percent run, if you fall down those holes there and end up in the level below, your run is just over. You can technically warp back out if you fall down there, but you lose so much time if you do. It's just really not worth it. So I kind of go the safe route there and just use the rooster. Maybe eventually I'll get to the point where I'm like, okay, I really need to shave off some time here, and I will use the boots. But for right now, I'm just like, it's just really not worth it for my run. So you see, we did another air climb there. Another air climb here, and we're on the way at the little tower. So we just avoided like 3 or 4 caves and like a bunch of mobs and all sorts of things. That I normally don't pick up both rocks there, but apparently I can't point Link in the right direction tonight, so we picked up both rocks. So, I can remember my split here, at least, maybe. So, this is D7. And as I mentioned before, this is where the likes like to heck you. That's what this dungeon is. So normally you would come up these stairs, and if you're on 80%, and you would use a skewed arrow to shoot that crystal down there and get up to the Hinox right away from the start. We're just going to jump over those blocks there because we can. You would just go straight to Hinox and perform the Hinox Warp and just warp up to where the instrument is at. If I recall, you don't even have to fight the boss, so you just skip everything in here. But we're not doing that. I am going to be actually doing the dungeon, which this is actually like my second favorite dungeon, which actually makes me really happy that this category exists as well. Because this is just like a really fun dungeon. It's got minimal tricks. You do have Cannonball, which I think is probably the hardest trick in this dungeon. Besides Hinox Warp, of course. And the rest is just like really, really good movement. And there was a trick recently found with the boss here. So the boss is kind of RNG-ish, but there was a trick found that kind of cuts down on the RNG recently, which you will probably see where you basically get him to cancel one of his attacks that normally waste a bunch of time. But yeah, so I'm going to do a trick here called Cannonball. And as I mentioned before, Grezzo is terrible with hitboxes. And basically we're going to freak the game out here a little bit by, like, I think I'm close enough yet. We're going to freak out the game here a little bit by shoving Link inside of the cannonball there. And, using bombs to bounce it around while we're inside of it and jump over the fence. And, it's a fun little trick. I don't really quite know how to do it correctly. It's one of the few tricks I think there's just no tutorial for, so I just have to kind of learn it from trial and error. But I seem to have gotten it down pretty good for the most part. I can usually get over the fence with only 2 or 3 bombs now. Get the, I think this is the boss key. If I remember correctly here. Oh, and that was the mid-boss, by the way, who is the Grim Creeper and is just kind of completely forgettable and terrible, and as long as you stand in that corner and spam the sword button, you will never, ever die and have no trouble ever with that boss. And that's something that's carried over from the DX game, I believe. The Grim Creeper is just basically pathetic and useless, so this little section here sucks. It's really easy to waste time on those card creature things. So this is the D7 Hinox. Just no, I don't even interact with it. I don't fight it. I have nothing to do with it, and I like it that way. At least until I get really good at this category, then maybe I'll start messing with it. He is the bane of many a speedrunner of this game. So kind of our challenge in this dungeon, which I think is still a really neat mechanic, is we're destroying those 4 pillars in this dungeon with that cannonball. To send like the top 4 of the dungeon down. If you remember when we were here with Grim Creeper, this was like a big pit with like a fenced off area. But now it's all opened up. The towers have collapsed together, and we're able to get up to the balls now. And, we will go fight Evil Eagle. Now, I have to be a little bit careful. Normally I have more arrows in this, and I can kind of spam them a bit more. But I kind of ran a bit low there on arrows in the end. So I can really only afford to shoot maybe 4 or 5 arrows. And I may not even need to shoot them. It kind of just depends on RNG. This is a very RNG heavy fight. I can sometimes just kind of give you a bad time right out the gate for no real good reason. So I probably should have arrowed there. So ideally you want him to use those claw attacks so you can spin attack. So you can use that, the ladder there to end this really big long attack that normally takes like a ton of time. You can just end it really fast. So normally you have to wait on him to finish flapping, and I did that a little bit too roughly. So I ended up falling here, which wastes time. So that was an okay fight. I've had much better. And since I took a bit of damage there, I'm actually going to pick up this heart piece. Because I'll probably be using it. So, if you remember D4, where we got the flippers at, we left it early. and because we said it was faster, but we still need the instrument. So we're going to go do D4 now. It's actually really close by. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually right below us. So we will be jumping off the mountain and going to D4. So this is kind of ending the tail end of the speedrun. There's one more major trick that happens before the final boss here. And it can shave a good 2 to 3 minutes off of your speedrun. If you're able to pull the trick off, called Genie Skip. So we skipped D4's boss, but we also skipped D2's boss earlier in the run. And we did that because it's faster to come back later with Pegasus boots, because there is a trick that you can do at the start of the boss fight that completely nullifies the boss and opens up the instrument room. And you can just skip the boss and get the instrument. And it saves a lot of time because it is a very slow RNG heavy boss. I say RNG heavy, it's not super RNG, it's just a very slow, annoying boss. And you just kind of don't want to spend any time having anything to do with it if you can help it. So the puzzle here, every time you start a new game, this puzzle is random. But at the start of the game, this file has a manipulated seed. At the start of the game, so I know exactly what the solution to that puzzle is. And then I also know what the solution to the egg puzzle at the end of the game is. Hello, Kagura! I expected you went to bed already. So I'm just finishing up a pretty awful run, but it's too late for me to reset. So we're living with it. We're embracing it. We're talking through the run, explaining all the things, having a good time. So this here is the best boss in the game. That goes blubber blubber, blub blub blub, futter, blub, blubber blubber, piranha killer. Best boss in the game. And by best boss, I kind of mean the most like lackluster boring boss in the game. You kind of just dodge things and slash the light thing as fast as you can. And she's a pretty easy boss. So that was fast and easy. And we will get out of here and go see if we can do Genie Skip. Which I apparently can't seem to get any of my PBs, but since this is a crappy no reset run, I will probably get on first try. So I don't have the speedrun jitters. So Kaguya, I kind of made a mistake last night, and I kind of sort of maybe accidentally deleted my PB splits, and I'm going to have to try to fix those, either by just doing runs, or by looking at my video. Last night I was trying to fix them with my video, but for some reason it didn't work right. My times were wrong? The splits? I don't understand how live split works. I probably should understand how it works, but I can't be bothered. So that's a thing. Here's Itchy. Alright, so getting ready for Genie Skip. Dungeon is pretty uneventful for the most part, although I kind of cheat here with this puzzle by killing the Pole's voice with music. Link is apparently a terrible musician. And that Stuffo's kind of got in a crappy area from what I normally like him to be at, but... it happened. I'm going to grab a fairy in this room and heal up. And hopefully if I get Genie Skip, I won't take much damage. I think 1 heart of damage, so I should have plenty of health for the final boss. That was a slow Zol kill, but oh well. Typically you want to hit the Zol with a pot. But also typically I would hope I have enough health I don't need to get the fairy, so... I swear at this point, though, I can do Genie Skip pretty much in my sleep, so hopefully I get it this time? I've been practicing this to death. Good grief. Hard, hard, hard. It's been what the dying Gastonberg. Gastonberg. Hard, hard, hard. Right, I'll be quiet while I do this trick, because it is a toughie. And I got it. Of course, you know, it's not a PB, so, of course I got the trick. But oh well. So I actually have found a trick to that trick, at least for me personally, that I've noticed, and, so I actually muted that fight on my end. Because when I practice this game, I don't practice it with the game audio. I'm usually listening to a Twitch stream or a YouTube video when I practice. And it kind of hit me where I'm like, you know, I wonder if the audio cues, because I'm looking for a very specific cue with that font, to hit on a very specific, like 2 or 3 frames. And I'm like, but there's also an audio cue when that pot hits the floor and makes a noise. And I'm also wondering, so I'm sitting here wondering, I'm like, well, I practiced this visually. I've only practiced this with visual cues. I haven't practiced this with any audio cues at all. And, so I'm like, what if I just mute my audio during a run and just solely focus on the visual cue? And I did it tonight, so I don't know if that'll work or not, but I'm going to experiment with it where I have like an audio cue, or a visual cue only, and just mute my audio for a while. But hopefully that helps out. Check out the old hands. Get ready for Nightmare and Deathel. Maybe I can get a quick kill Ganon. That would be nice. Let's see if I can get a sub 140. Pretty bad time, but... whatever. It's also unfortunately later than I was hoping it to be, but I'll definitely need to get to bed right after this. Cozy up in bed and watch some 2chan before bed. Which I realize sounds like I'm saying 2chan, and I don't mean the website 2chan, I mean 2chan, the Sonic speedrunner, who is really heckin' awesome, and I love her very much. Actually, maybe she pronounces her name Toucan. I don't know, because it's like a whole Toucan theme. So, 1, 2... Yeah, not like that. I just realized as I said it out loud where I'm like, it says it's Touchan. It's like the way she spells. So it's like, or well, maybe it's actually a 0. Actually, how does she spell it? It's like either that or like that. I think it's maybe that. I don't know. Something like that. But she really likes toucans, and she has like toucan modes. And she's a really good Sonic speedrunner. Alright, so hopefully Aghanim won't head here. I'll be a little bit quiet during this round. So I think that's too close. Or my time was off. One of the two. One of the two things that make this little strat work. One more hit. Oh, that was actually really nice. I wish I had that kind of RNG on my PB. Alright. So we'll see if we can get quick kill Ganon. Maybe, maybe not. Oh my god, we got quick kill Ganon. Let's go. That's so hard to get. Also, I just realized I forgot my split again. Alright, Deathel. Dance with me. It's pretty good Deathel RNG. Said that. 2 more hits. And he's done. Well, I did get a sub 140. Not exactly rocking the best run in the world, but and time. Well, I got a gold split on that, but I actually don't know how accurate that gold split is. Actually, I don't think it is at all. So, I'll be in the process of rebuilding my my PB. Well. Well, it is late for me. I need to get on to bed. Oh, so we actually have a few viewers. So I would actually like to raid someone, even if it's just a few. Let's see who's streaming. Who could use a raid? Well, heck, let's go check out Toucan. Yeah, Twilight is streaming. She's streaming Smite though, so I know nothing about Smite. So I'm probably gonna go hang out with Toucan though, so maybe it's just Toucan, that's the way she said it. Let's just go check her out. I feel like that's who I want to raid. So, what's she spell? Let me check the spelling. Oh, it's T0UCHAN. Okay. So we'll do a heckin' raid, and we'll watch some Sonic before bed. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and we'll go watch some Sonic.